something like onomatopoeia. That's one of my things. I have to think it's stupid. Like I have to do onomatopoeia. Like, what? We cannot debate that. But it's like, I mean, it's a strategy, but it's actually just like a way of thinking about it. Like, usually we try to come up with like something kind of not cute, but we like want to like, what are like the different ways that a student could like access this knowledge? Like, what are the different examples I could give them? What are like the different, you know, I could do pictures, I could do, you know, all these different things to explain the concept. And instead thinking like, almost getting back to like institute style, so like, they have to be able to know that, you know, that number is 85,000. Yeah.
10.
Times hundreds, thousands, right?
Oh yeah, 85, 10.
Thousands.
It's
Thousands, I think it's thousands.
It's 85, 10,000.
85, 10,000. Okay. So they need to know that is 85, 10,000. What is like, all conceptual knowledge aside, kind of, like what is the shortest path to being able to answer that question? Like what is like, if what they need to be able to do is say that is 85, 10,000 or whatever. Is that what?
Oh no, I was looking at the board. I was thinking.
Like what is the information they need to know to get that? Like nothing more. So they need to know that this is a tens. Like fact, this is tens. Like if you can do like, I'm sure there's a diagram out there that shows it on a picture, but like no, they need to know that this is 10, this is hundreds, this is thousand, this is 10,000. And so when you have a number here, that means it's 5 tens. When you have that, means it's like 15 hundredths. When you have that, it's 1,000. Just like straight, like that is what you're trying to do is getting them to be able to say this, because this is from your assessment, from your exit ticket, from whatever, is the most direct thing for that. Like the shortest path to say. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because I think sometimes, at least what Lucille was saying, she's trying to be like interesting and funny and.
See, I'm the opposite. Like
Okay.
my girl who more like what's 4 times 1? I don't know. Like I try most basic like cut and dry. Multiplication is repeated addition. So it's 4 added together 1 time. So it's just the number 4. So that's 4 times 1. Or like write it out, or draw dots, or use a multiplication table. Like all these things, and still like I'm not helping her like connect. And I like.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have this. I don't know either off the top of my head. But with that, I would say is like pose that question to, you know, whether it's like Andy who's taught before, or like even Allison. Did you go to Allison?
I talked to Allison, yeah. She has said some games that maybe she could learn.
Yeah, I mean that's like I don't know those things off the top of my head, or even like the content communities online. Just like I have a student that like these are the things I've tried and they are not getting it. Like post a question because the people are paid to answer those questions within 24 hours or whatever. And my guess is they'll probably give you some like games and things like that that will just at least get it. Figuring out like one of those 4 things, like if you just like decide like I need to know that she knows that 4 times 1 in this format equals 4. Like that's what it needs to be right now. And just making sure like not worrying about like, you know, some box with like 4 things that yeah, you know, and that kind of goes back to like the shortest path.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I still kind of come back to like, I mean, does that all make sense? I mean, that's not. I mean, I do come back to like this, like Grant Swanson investment in math, and like also think about like, how can we like leverage like the things that you are good at, and like the things that you do care about, like to bring.
Well, I mean, perfect example, like Tuesday night tutoring is math, basically. And then Thursday night is tutoring, but it's writing club. I love writing club. I have so much fun with writing club. I get so excited about it. Tuesday nights, I'm like, oh no.
Yeah.
Tuesday night tutoring. Like, Tuesday night tutoring is like the epitome of Grant's struggles as a teacher.
Mhm. Yeah, I think part of it is gonna be this thing, but like again, like it's still. I mean, I understand like your mindset probably like feeling like I hate this because like it is hard, but it's also because a little bit, it's like not compelling to you, and like that's why I'm trying to figure out like how we can make that. Whether it's like, you know, combining the two and having kids write like story problems for math, you know, like, you know, how to include when you're writing today, like include like one, some.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, include a situation where you might have to use this stuff in a paragraph today. So I went to the store, I went to B&B, and I had 10 100s of it, you know, of $1, that's 10 cents or something. And then, I think it would be cool if you, like I've seen this done really well, it's like you like told a story about, you know, why this is important. Like maybe not every day, but like a couple times a week, like we're moving into place value. Like this is why. Let me tell you the story, the embarrassing story about when I tried to buy a goldfish and like something happened with place value. To like bring that part of it into it. Like and truthfully, I think make it more interesting to your kids too, because then they would like associate the goldfish with place values. You know, in some ways like another connection for them. I mean, yeah. I mean, that's like what. I mean, what do you think? Like, is that something that you'd be worth like trying to give a shot, or are you just, yeah?
They would probably be out for me to think through stories or something like that. I think trying to think of like a word problem for everything might drive me crazy. But like thinking of a story for why it's important sounds like more of something that would be helpful for everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think also like even as you like when you go online to teachingideas.co.uk or whatever, and you're looking for these things, like yeah, I mean sometimes you need like these worksheets, but like if you're also looking for like it's searching for something different though. Like if so you don't have to come up with it necessarily, but if you're looking for like how can I show sixth graders that, you know, long division is like what's a story about long division that I can use, you know, to keep going. And I think also having kids like create their own kind of stories I think would be pretty cool. But I think like fundamentally, like even before you do the story problem, comes out to like, I mean, you have to not just like think you know, but like hardcore know, like in detail, like why does this matter every day? You know, even if it means just a couple minutes before class, before you start your math, and you're just like, all right, my kids need to know this because when they go to B&B and I don't want them to get looked off on their like Arizona iced tea or something like that, like, and whatever this whatever the situation is, because like, yeah, because I mean I think you probably might not be doing that so much right now. So I mean we are like. I want to give you a few minutes before like this session kind of starts. That'll probably go short, by the way. Like, what I would like to do is just like think, like, what would that look like, kind of, you know, in a lesson. Like actually, so not just be like, okay, go ahead and do this thing that you might not. You said a couple times, you're not exactly sure what it might look like. So like. I think I would like to, if you're down, like to actually take a few minutes and think about like, what that would look like.
Well, for all the kids who put 7/10 on the number line before 1/10, because there wasn't a 0 after the 7 and the 9. So they thought it was smaller going to give you,
So what is the thing that you want kids to be able to do? What is it?
distinguish that tenths is bigger than hundredths.
Okay. Okay. On a number line?
Or just in general, tenths are
Okay.
bigger than hundredths. This is just the hundred line. I mean, this was the number line, was this approach today. I've done greater than and less than. I've done just ordering, writing numbers in order. But, I mean, if you want to say on the number line, that's fine.
I do think it's.
But I mean, like, a story in general is like, if someone is going to give you, say this is suddenly money. Think about this as money. I think that would actually change students' perceptions. If you have this option and if we put this on the number line and we think that this is smaller just because there's not a zero over here, but if we put that zero over there so that the place values line up, which one's actually bigger? Which one do we actually want? Which value will get us the most money? This, and so that's a reason you need to know if a parent is wanting to test your knowledge and is going to put these in front of you and say, what should be your allowance? And you're not sure that place value, and so you think 45 is bigger than 7, and you don't think about place values. Oh, this is actually a tenth, not tens. And imagine that zero there. You'll think that this one's bigger, when in fact this one's bigger. And of course that would be much more interesting if thought out before right now.
No.